Okay, this is the story of last summer when a girl from Montreal raped me. The summer rape. Started, I knew this girl, Catherine, from Montreal, on MySpace for like 5-6 years. You know, she was cool, whatever. We liked the same movies and music and same views on things, whatever. And, you know, she was cool, but she also was like a junkie and like just drinking all the time and like cutting herself and doing weird shit. She was really weird. Cool, but weird. And, so when, like, I don't know, like, I known her for like 5-6 years. She offered to, well, mind you, she got better. Like, we had a little falling out, she got better. She wasn't all into drugs and stuff. She, like, had a good job, lived on her own and stuff, you know, drank at a decent rate, and stuff like that. Like, not really cutting herself, and kind of, like, cooled it, took pills and stuff. So, like, when I knew that, and she seemed to be a little more normal, she's like, oh, you want to go out to, like, hang out? Like, I'll buy your, you know, I got a cool bonus, like, really good bonus. Do you want to, I'll pay for your round trip to Montreal. And I was like, cool, okay. I went there before and it was pretty sweet. So I was like, free trip, like I'm gonna be stupid to say no. And so like, it was sometime midsummer, I think. And she goes to, you know, she buys me a ticket, whatever, for midsummer. I go there. You know, 15-16 hour bus ride, which is cool, but just long. And I get there, meet her and stuff, whatever. We hang out with her brother and like girlfriend at a bar and stuff, blah blah. She's showing me all these cool places, but I got there at nighttime, so it wasn't like crazy amount of stuff to do at night, you know what I mean? Like we just kind of diddle-daddled on the way to her apartment. So I get there, and it's the first night, and I'm like, this is cool, whatever, blah 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 blah, and we just watched movies. Alright, cool. And then we're sitting there and stuff, and she's like, "Oh, let's go to the corner store, like, you know, right there." So we go, and she buys all this booze, and I'm like, "Wait, you have like a party?" She's like, "Nah, I just want to drink." I was like, "Okay." Buy her, like, I don't drink, right? She's like, "Oh, I know, I just like to drink." I was like, "Okay." All that booze though? She's like, "Yep." So I'm like, "Okay, whatever." We go back to her place, and she's chugging these things like it's water or fucking OJ, and she's like loaded by herself in her apartment, like. And I'm sitting there like, this is weird, because she's being kind of weird. And movie finishes, and we go, like, we're just tired, and she's like, I don't even know what she's doing at that point. She's just kind of like in her own world. And then we decide to go to bed. I sleep on the polo couch. She goes to her bed. Mind you, she just rips her clothes off. She's just standing there in her underwear. And I was like, okay, bold move, but whatever. You're loaded and a psycho. So whatever, she goes to bed, and I'm laying there, and then, like, mind you, this girl's crazy, like, she is fucking nuts. Like, this girl's like, if you think opposite of her, or like, you don't do something that she thinks is the right way or something, she's like, has a bold opinion, and she'll badmouth you and cut you down to fucking shit, and just, she'll hit you, and she'll just make you feel like a turd the whole, like, you know, and I didn't want to waste my whole trip feeling like a piece of shit, like having her badmouth me to every single human that we come into contact with. So, saying that, she, I'm laying there with my headphones in, just sleeping, whatever, and, you know, I feel my bed go down, and she, like, crawls in, and I was like, okay, well, like, whatever, and then, she's sitting there, or she's laying there, and then she, like, scooshes all in, like, rubbing right on me, and I was like, okay, whatever, maybe she's just lonely. So I was like, okay, and she's grinding her ass on my dick. And I'm like, oh, Jesus, I know exactly where this is gonna go. And I'm like, fuck. So she's grinding it and stuff, and I'm just like, what do I do? Like, if I say no, the bitch, I'll wake up I won't wake up. I'll be in a body bag, fucking floating down the goddamn river. And I'm like, if I do yeah, it's like, I gotta live with this. I'll be alive, but she'll haunt my dreams. And I was like, fuck, I don't know. So like, maybe I could just get into it or something, like just, I don't even know. Like, at this point, I didn't know what to think. I was panicking. But you only have so much time when the girl's grinding her ass. Like, you can't just, you know? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So she starts kissing me and stuff, and I was kissing her back, just like the shittiest kisses I've ever given in my life. And I give shitty ones, these are really bad. So like I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go with this and like hope I'm like the worst at it, and if this leads to sex, I hope I'm, you know, I'm usually 30-40 seconds, I'm hoping I'm 12 this time. So so she starts grinding on me, yada yada, and she's like making out with me and fucking wrestling my dick and shit. And it's hard, obviously, because it's rubbing. But I really didn't want to do it, which doesn't make sense. But like, you just need to know where I was. It's odd. And so she's like, okay. She pulls out these condoms. She's like, put this on. And I was like, oh my god, this is turning into a rape. I don't even want to put this on. I don't even want to do this. I put it on. Fuck. And then I started. She's fucking just. I don't even remember the insertion. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure she just fucking missiled the bitch right into her fucking gut, like just threw it in there, and I was like, fuck. All right, it's in. Like, there's no, like, it's in. Like, if I pull it now or I just finish, like, at least it's done. It's fucking, my life is over. So she's like, I'm humping her, and like, honestly, I'm humped her, and I was hard for like a minute, 2 minutes tops. And then all of a sudden I'm just like getting softer. I'm just thinking like, this is bad. So like, okay, I'm telling her, you know, I can't do this. I'm getting soft, you know, and I just was like, oh, I like another girl back home or something. Like just so it looked like I had an excuse why I was getting soft, because fuck, if she thought I had like some sort of erectile dysfunction, then goddamn, that'd be the end of me. So I'm like, yeah, I think I like this girl. Like, I feel bad doing this. Blah blah. She's like, oh, you motherfucking faggot, blah, and like having a hissy fit. Goddamn. And then, like, we just had an argument. She was calling me a faggot, a gay, a queer, like every fucking word ever in the dictionary. She called me at least 6 times each. And, so yeah, she was just, then she stormed off into her bed. And then I got out of bed and I went to her bed and I was like, yo, listen, like, I like someone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm sure you know what it feels like. Like, you have some sort of a heart, I'm sure. And then, whatever, she got all pissy, fell asleep, drunk, all shitty. I went to bed and I was like, I've been raped. I barely slept a fucking wink, and then wake up, whatever. I wake up, her dad calls, and she tells her dad right away that she tried to have sex with me. So every time I seen her dad, he took us to dinner like 2 days later, and he's like, oh, how was the first night? And I was like, oh my god, you told him? But I didn't know she really told him because they were speaking French. So she's like, yeah, no, I told him. I was like, thanks. This is a great dinner. Like, fuck. And then I was supposed to stay there for like 7 days. 6 or 7. And by day 3, I was like, I pretended my job needed me, which I had at the time, shocking, but they didn't need me. And I was just like, I think my job needs me. Like, I might go home a day early or something. Like, even an hour early would have been just fucking heaven, because this was turned into a nightmare. And then she's getting all pissed, like, you want to leave, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I'm like trying to make like solid excuses, you know, and I can't get out of it or something. And then like, I think it was the 3rd day, maybe 4th day. I might have made it the 4th day, I can't remember. But she, it was like 8, maybe like 10, 9 or 10. We watched movies and we hung out, whatever. And we're back at her apartment. She's like, I'm gonna go shower. And I'm like, it's about time, it's been like 3 days. And says me who never showers, but. And so she goes into the bathroom. And then she comes out with like just a shirt and underwear and a towel. Like this, just walk in, and she goes right to the, like this beeline right to the fucking kitchen. And I hear a thing open and close. Some silence, and then she walks back, but it's like she's holding it out like there's obviously something in that fucking towel. You might as well not even use the towel, because it's, might as well put a sign that say, hey, right, check inside. Like, just when she walks in the bathroom, I'm like, she closes the door, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's probably not good. Like, I'm pretty sure, I don't want to walk in there and she's just hanging by a fucking skipping rope or something, or I don't even know, you know, like, knowing her, I knew I had to check. I didn't want to, but I had to. So I mustered up the courage. After a couple minutes, I was like, fuck, alright, I'll do this. I get out there to the bathroom, and I open the door, and it's, I think it wasn't even long. I just opened the door. Bitch is sitting on the fucking side of the tub, the water's running, shower's going. She's sitting there just, like, cutting herself with a fucking Michael Myers knife, just hacking her wrist, and I was like, excuse me? And she's loaded, by the way, I forgot to add that, but she was already drunk prior to this, again, because she is an idiot. So she's drunk and doing this, and it's just sloppy wrist, just fucking zigzagging it. And she's like missing her arm and cutting her leg, the side of her leg, and I'm like, are you blood everywhere? I'm like, excuse me, why why the fuck are you doing this right here? Like, you couldn't wait till I left? So, I'm wrestling. Okay, I grabbed this knife, and she's a manly kind of dude. Like, she's strong for a girl. She's one of those girls that, like, she could beat up weaker kind of dudes and stuff. Like, she's pretty, you know? So we're fucking knife like this, like in a fucking movie, just going at it. And I'm like, this bitch, one of us is getting cut, and it's not fucking me. Like, so we're like wrestling. I finally just ripped the bitch out. And I, fuck, what did I do? I had it though. I know I had it, and then she's like, what the fuck, whatever. And then like, I'm like, calm down, like, why are you doing this? Blah, 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 blah. And she's like, whatever. And she opens up the fucking cabinet, all for all pills and shit, and there's like 6 other steak knives in there of all sorts, shapes and sizes and colors. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, bitch, how many knives do you have? And I was like, I grabbed them all before she grabbed them, ran out the thing, I like closed the door, ran out, threw them behind her TV stand, and was like, hope she doesn't fucking find those. And then, so I run back in there, she's bleeding, and I'm like, she's screaming at this point, like, what are you doing? Fuck you, Kalista Bernack! Fucking, just screaming all kinds of shit. Half of it I knew, the other half I didn't even know. It's a blur, I tell ya. And she's screaming and shit, and she puts her pants on, and she's like, I can't, like, this is where it gets kind of like spotty. It happens so fast and just so like, it's so intense also. It's just like, it's at level 3, 4, and there's like, fucking 20, like, just bam. And I'm like, okay, she's screaming. I'm like, I think I'm just gonna like, go home now maybe, like, and by the time this is like 3 in the fucking morning, okay? There's maybe it wasn't 10, like I said earlier, I don't even know, whatever. It was like 2:33 in the morning, and she is fucking screaming in the hallways. She's outside in the hallway, just running around her apartment screaming, slams the door, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do. So I call my mother, and I'm like, Ma, she's got a knife, and she's like, a knife! Like screaming, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand, but like, I don't speak French, so what the fuck am I gonna do? I ain't in Montreal, like, I'm outside in some other town, like, I don't know anything around here. So she's like, okay, well, like, call the police, blah, 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 and like, whatever. So I'm like, okay, I call the police, I tell them what happens, they, no, I didn't call the police, I was like, okay, I packed my bag, so just leave it as soon as possible and call the police. So I packed my shit, packed all my shit, went out there, I opened the door, bitch standing there in the door, like this, I was like, hi. And she's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm not gonna stick around if you're gonna kill yourself. And she's like, going nuts. I was like, I need to go, like, honestly. She like shoved me and like went inside and like was just throwing shit around, like glass and fucking her pillows and like whatever she can get her little hands on. So I'm like, holy shit, like I just like sped walk down the stairs and went outside. And as I did this, I could hear things breaking and slamming, and I was going downstairs and I could still hear it up there. And I was outside and I was like, oh my god. And so I'm outside and I'm walking down the fucking long road to like another intersection, and because I know buses came there, and I was just gonna like maybe ask a bus like, where, like, is there a Greyhound, like how do I do this, like, but then it was 3, so I wasn't even thinking straight. I'm pretty sure there was no buses, so I was hoping for a cab, like anything. So like I go down there, and on the way of walking down towards the intersection or the next road, I'm calling the police, and they're like French all over the place, and I'm just like, English, like I'm from Canada, like Ontario, I don't know anything what you're saying. I'm like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And they go, and I'm like, I give them the address, and I'm at the end of the fucking road. So then I gotta walk all the way back to give them the goddamn address. So I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I'm just walking, it's all silent, like, are you still, like, you know, I'm still there, it's quite a walk. Like, wait a second. I walk out there, I get the address, walk back, and they're like, okay, whatever. And then they come, like, pretty quickly, like 10 minutes. And they come, and I walk with them up there. I'm like, okay, it's up here. I'll like walk and follow me with the car. I go up there, and I'm like, it's in here. I gave them the address, or the number to their apartment. So they go in there and they grab her, they bring her out. She looks at me like Satan has been inside of her all day. She's just like, why could you do this to me? Just screaming, and people are like coming out of the sirens, well, not sirens, but the lights and shit. People are like on the balconies and just like, I'm like, holy fuck, welcome to Montreal, like. And then she's screaming and going crazy, like, oh, I should have killed myself. Fuck you, I can't believe you do this to me. I was like, what am I supposed to do, like, sleep? Like, yeah, she told me to sleep after she cut herself, but she told me to sleep. Like, I'll just go back to bed, nothing happened. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep well after you have knives all over the place. So like, she gets in the cop car, and stuff, and then they're asking me questions, and like where I'm from, and blah, blah, blah. So like, I do that for like half an hour. And then, I'm like, okay, like, I'm thinking that maybe they'll help me out and give me a fucking ride to like a Greyhound or anywhere that would help me. They're like, no, we gotta go, there's a cab phone up on the road there, just call them, and they leave. I walk up there, there's no cab phone at all. So I don't even, honestly, I don't even remember how I got a hold of a cab. Or maybe I flagged one down. But either way, I was out there for a while. It's like 4 in the morning by now, and like probably past that. No, it was like 4. And this cab goes by. I think I flagged them down. I think. I don't remember calling. He pulls up like next to me, and he's like, "Okay, like where do you need to go?" I was like, I knew a general kind of direction. I was like, there's like I was like Montreal, like this way. Like I know that there's a Greyhound. Like can you take me there? And no wait, that was, the cop said there's a closer one. That's what they told me. They told me there's a closer one like this way. Like in my head I know where I'm going. And so he's like, no, okay, I'll take you to that one. Yeah, I was like, how much is it? Because I only have like, I had like 20-25 bucks in my wallet for like money. He's like, okay, he's like, I'll hook you up. I was like, are you sure? Like, this all I have is 25. Like, if it's gonna be more, like whatever. He's like, no, I'll hook you up. It's okay. He doesn't take me to the close way, he takes me to the far one in Montreal. It's like a fucking half-hour drive. He's black, by the way, so it scared the shit out of me. He's a French black man. It's probably 2 bads in 1. So I'm just like, okay, like, I have my phone in here, like 911's already on speed dial. I'm like, this guy nice to me. So we show up, it's like 20 minutes later, and he's like, okay, $40-something. I was like, $40-something. Did you not hear me? I said I had 25. He's like, oh, hey, come with me. I was like, okay. So I get out. He brings me, he brings me to the station. He's like, here, take your money out to an ATM. I was like, classy, thanks, fucking crook. And so I take the money out and I give it to him, like, thanks for nothing, see you later. And then I switch the ticket, because I was supposed to leave like 4 days later. So I switch the ticket, and it's like, it leaves in an hour, which is like 5-something in the morning. It's like a 19-hour bus ride home. I'm like, fuck it, yes, I'll take that one. And so then I leave, and I waste the time there, whatever. I get on the bus, and probably like an hour and a half on the bus, and I get this text from, she didn't have a cell phone, she used her brother's cell phone, and she's like, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry for everything, you know, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't really want to talk right now, because like, it just happened like an hour ago. Like, can we just kind of space a little? I could use some. She's like, you know what? Fuck you. I hope your fucking bus crashes. And I was like, god damn it, like, this bitch just doesn't stop. And I was like, fuck. So then I just was like, I need to ignore it. She's sending me texts like a crazy bitch. Just, I hope it burns, and just yelling at me via text. And I was like, hey, I get it. You want me to be dead? Like, I understand. You want us both dead right now. I get it. And then then I just ignored her, whatever. Made my way home, whatever. Blocked her for like a week, you know, off of everything. Just like to regroup. I needed to go to counseling and shit. No, it's kidding, but you know. So then I unblock her a week later. This is the end of the story. Block her a week later. We talk, you know. She's the stories. I'm like, it's okay, you know. You're a little, and she's like, yeah. Oh, she's like, it's funny that it's funny. I just found the knives now that you hid behind there. That's a funny hiding place. I was like, hi, yeah, like, it's hilarious. And she's like, also, I got some mail, and I was like, cool. And she's like, yeah, from the ambulance. They billed me like $200-something. I was like, oh, that sucks. She's like, yeah, but I didn't want it, so you pay for it. I was like, excuse me? I'm gonna pay for it? Yeah, because like you're bleeding, cutting yourself, and I'm not supposed to call an ambulance. I was just supposed to go right back to bed, right? She's like, no, okay, well, you know, I'll be nice and I'll split it. I was like, split it? I was like, yeah, that's really a good idea. No, I'm not gonna fucking split it. She's like, no, you're gonna split it. I was like, okay, you know what? Fine, I get paid this Friday, I'll split it. And then block, delete, and that was like 5 years ago. I never talked to her again, so I'm pretty sure she paid it. I hope. That's fucking it. It's a long story, but god damn it. And every one of it is fucking true, every bit of that shit. It sounds made up, but it isn't. Real class act. And now when strangers fucking ask me to go somewhere, I'm like, I'm gonna have to know you personally. It's fun.